welcome back. Just a quick Fred in the Shed 2 video. Got the old favourite CRT 9900 here just set up in the living room like I do. I was on the 305 on the early part of the net this morning and was chatting to the boys on there. We had Dave on there, Robbie, I think Barry, and I was trying to get out to Stand in the Van. Stand in the Van was at Heathrow, and that's quite a shout for me here in sort of St Albans. Anyway, was obviously on upper sideband, was transmitting, cranked up to full power, which we know on this radio pushes about 100 watts, and almost instantly got a high SWR warning again, which was the same bloody thing as I had on the last time with the 9900. Back to power right off, had to go right down to probably about, I don't know, I'd guess about 10 watts, something like that, and managed to not get that high SWR warning, but quite worrying. Now, you know, we've had so many storms here in the UK. We've had about sort of 3 weeks of consistent gusty high winds, and everything from about 40 to 70 miles an hour. We had that storm Freya that I did put up that video on Fred in the Shed 1 there, showing the Antron getting smashed around. And then since then we've had another storm. They name them. Why do they name these storms? Why don't they just say we're going to get bad weather? But they name them. So we've had Storm Graham come across as well. That was a longer storm actually. That was about 3 days of sort of 50 mile an hour winds, and the old antenna there, it was really sort of waving about in the wind, and I was coming home from work every day looking up, expecting to see the top section snapped off. But it survived it physically, but I say now we're hitting back this high SWR warning again. Haven't had a chance to go up and test it on some of the other radios up in the shack. Just got it on the actually the 9900 here. Now, you know, it could be there is that sort of still that sort of slightly dodgy coaxial connection on the coaxial plug on the 959 plug that I did, that caused all of that problem, all of that massive headache over on Facebook, where someone did take sort of umbrage, or someone did take pretty much the arse about that, and basically cause loads and loads of issues. But I do think that plug is probably holding up. The coaxial cable is very, very firmly cable tied to the sort of antenna mast, and the whole thing is covered up in that amalgamation tape. I wouldn't have thought that has fouled. I have a really bad feeling, because quite a few other people have been in contact with me since saying that their Antron 99s have fouled with high SWRs. Also, Awesome Dave's fouled, I think, within the first few days, and it seems to be the bottom coil shorting out. Now, that could be that there's water actually got into the antenna itself and filled up from the bottom, and that would make sense because we have had an absolute shed load of rain over the last few weeks with all of these storms that have been sort of quite current. So it could be that the antenna has filled up with water. I did, when I took it down over a year ago, I did drill the bottom of it. I did actually make the drain hole a little bit larger because I thought it was sort of quite small. Yeah, it could just be the sort of loading coil inside the antenna itself. But that's what seems to short out. There doesn't seem to be any fix from that. You can't sort of get inside the antenna. So basically that's where we are. At the moment, I just haven't got the time really available to bring it down and have a look at it, let alone replace it. I would like to replace it with 2016. I think that's where I'm going to end up. But I'd like to get the weather to improve a little bit. It's still very, very sort of, you know, blustery here, and as I said, I'd need to get some help in for that as well, and not quite in that sort of place at the moment. As for now, you know, I've left the radio for a few hours. We're on FM at the moment. I'll put the power to about halfway, and the radio, yeah. I mean, FM is full transmit power. It's keying up at the moment, and if I turn the power all the way round, which I don't like doing, to be honest. I don't like running this at full power on FM. It heats up quite quickly. But, you know, now it's working absolutely fine. I'll just do a test while I've got you on video here. Oh, this is going to be difficult with one hand. This is slight, but I'll go back to upper sideband, full power. Audio, 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 audio. 1 2 1 2, audio. So that's, you know, it's banging out 100 watts pretty much, and it seems to be working at the moment. The weather outside is a little bit calmer than it was the last few days. I don't know if it's water or whatever, but I think the writing is on the wall for the old Antron 99 there. It's done very, very well, and it's lasted a lot longer than other people's have had. It seems the earlier antennas, they seem to last a lot longer. It seems to be the more recent ones, and I'm talking even more recent than mine. I'm talking about what people have bought within the last sort of a year, 6 months. They seem to be failing really, really regularly. My one itself, there's a really old video on this channel, Fred in the Shed 2. When it arrived from, I think it was Thunderpole, it was bent. The middle section was bent like a banana, and I had to get that replaced. But, you know, it's been fine, but I don't know, it's a bit annoying, you know, when it keeps sort of cutting out. And so there you go. Just thought I would sort of, you know, do an update on that, because people have been asking me in the suggestions how the Antron's going. Would I recommend the antenna? Well, yeah, I still think it's a good antenna. I mean, I still think it performs quite well, but this quality issue is, you know, it's starting to get a little bit sort of repetitive with people, you know, making more and more comments on failures. So, you know, you're looking at the Antron 99 and also another fiberglass antenna. You might be looking at the Stereo Game Master. You know, the Game Masters, they do tend to sort of bend about in high wind, but they do seem to be a little bit more reliable, certainly at the moment. But anyway, just that little update video. I'll keep you up to date on Fred in the Shed 2. If it starts going again and I can capture it on video, obviously I will. But, you know, as for now, hope you're all well. I'm pretty busy down at this end in Fred in the Shed. We've got a few things sort of going on, you know, outside of sort of work and that. So going to be a little bit busy. I don't know when I'll get another sort of decent CB radio video up on the channel, but I shall be working at it. But as for now, there we go. There's the old thumbs up. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, of course. Look after each other. Yeah, and I'll catch you all on the next one.